Hey, we're in the people business. We're changing neurology. And the greatest challenge that most chiropractors have is communication and particularly in terms of working with people and their neurology and shifting it to a more useful process. So you have a way of seeing the world, and your people have another way, possibly. And so what's important to you may not be that important to them. So to communicate effectively when you're in their world is amazing, and it produces huge results. And I mean, no matter how bizarre it may seem, because it'll be like not me when talking to them in their language, but it makes sense to them, and that's the important thing here. So why don't you spend a few minutes with me as we explore the uniqueness of the four communication styles that people have, and how you can shift your practice members' neurology with your voice. Hey, so I wanted to look at four simple steps of shifting your practice members' neurology with your voice or with your words and using that construct to have an influence on them. So this is a four-part series, and this is part number one. So what we're going to do is look at, firstly, what is it that is an angst for chiropractors and practice members themselves. So I would see that communication is, and this is probably generic right across humanity, but the communication is such a critical thing for us to operate as a relationship, as a system, as a practice in this case, as as a community, as humanity. So we must have effective communication. And we all have our own unique way of seeing the world. You have your own unique way of seeing the world, and your practice members will have another, guaranteed. So what's important to you may not be that important to them. And herein lies our greatest challenge. Herein lies the problem that we meet when we come to every single practice member. They've got their history, they've got their culture, they've got all the layers of filters that they've taken on board over their lifetime. And we have a message, we have our own culture and our own experience, our own history, and we want to take our message to them so they get it, because we know it's really valuable for them. So, given that our primary industry here is the people business, I mean, that's what we're about. We're not making widgets, we're changing people's neurology. And that's, whilst as chiropractic, we look at the essence of the physical neurology. We look at how the brain spine nerve system is connecting and feeding back, and these cycles of feedback are working properly. The words that we use, the communication that we do is critical to this. Now, we then run into these unknown, what we might like to see as subluxations in our communication. When we're effectively in their world, no matter how bizarre it might seem to us, then they will resonate with it. And so let's spend a few minutes looking at this in this context of how you can shift your practice members' neurology with your voice and with the way in which you address their particular communication style in this context. So um, the other day, a lady comes bursting into the practice. It was in the afternoon, it was Monday afternoon, and she's really, really excited, as she normally is. Very, very driven. She's had amazing results with the chiropractic care she's been getting with us, and she had this big box of homemade Christmas decorations. And in Kylie's normal and a high state of enthusiasm, which is what she takes into everything she does, and that's why she's such a great successful businesswoman. She's so successful in terms of her delightful family. I mean, it's just, there's so many different levels of this. She referred heaps and heaps of people into the practice, but she grabbed one of the new CA, the brand new CA, just learning the ropes there, and said, "Come on, give us a hand. We're going to decorate the practice." So she'd made all these, the old-fashioned sort of loops of paper that go together, and they're sort of glued with, I don't know, flour and water glue or whatever the old-fashioned type of gluing was. And anyway, so they're all, she's got strings and strings and strings of these things. And so she enrolls the help of this poor bewildered little new CA, and they go about the job of decorating the practice. Now, we had Christmas decorations up there, but she strung them from here to there to there to there, and it was really, really cool. And there was an excitement that came with that. The practice members who were there at the time, were holding this and holding that as she was putting blue tack around the place. And so anyway, it was really cool. And of course, next morning when the senior CA comes on, it's like, what is going on here? This violates our policy. This could contravene the occupational health and safety rules, etc., etc. So it's like she took it all down. Now, I wasn't there at the time, and so I came in later, I came in the next day, and so salvaged the heap of these decorations and rearranged them in a way that was within the rules, and Kylie hasn't come back in yet to see. She'll be in this week, so it'll be interesting to see the fact that she'll accept it. She'll accept it just fine. But this arrangement of decorations, which was very spontaneous, now has a certain order to it and certain structure to it. So it's acknowledging her, and she'll say she will be absolutely fine with it, I'm sure. But on the other hand, there was this pushback that took place because it wasn't following what was in the policy manuals of things. So it's a really good example though of a person who does the big picture really well. It's those people who come into your practices, and they're not there to follow the rules. They're not there to have all the detail and so forth laid out for them. They make it up as they go. So I want to quickly have a look at the essence of this, what we refer to as the Quadrant 1. Right, so the Quadrant 1 part is this part here where it's the right frontal area of the brain, and it's looking at the possibilities that are there for us in the future. So this is an area that looks at potential. What could come of this, the way in which this could be possible. Everything's possible within this context. It's the area that loves to have the discussion. It doesn't really care about the content. It's more about the context, right? So it goes into discussion mode. So this part of the brain, if you can invoke that in discussion, that's where it learns. It loves to brainstorm and loves to throw information out there because it's future oriented. It's looking towards the future. This part of the brain has a lovely ability to just take on possibilities and run with them and extrapolate out from them. So it's quite non-verbal because it's expressive, right? So you don't need a lot of words, and particularly you don't need words that make sense here. It's just like, it's amazing, isn't it? That's incredible. Isn't it wonderful how your body can self-organize? And they don't have to have all the details of how that works. It's simply, this is absolutely, it's out of this world. It's beyond words, and they're expressing it. So this is a context that we work with people in this area. It's quite disjointed in many respects, far out. Amazing. Ooh, wow, this is incredible. Yeah, that sort of thing. Whatever we want to frame going forward. So, we're questions like, well, why do you think this is so? We're asking them questions, or well, why not? Why not get onto this and do get the underlying stuff sorted out? Yeah, why not? Sure. Makes sense to me. Now, it really doesn't make any sense in terms of the actual content, but it's a concept of it. So they love working in concepts. As part of our brain just gets right into that. It's it gets involved with stories, right? So it'll see a vision, and it's visually oriented, and it loves to have a story associated with that vision. So telling stories of the people that come in to see you and what's happened with them in the past. And we all love a story. We all will go with this quadrant one part and go deep into the stories and the metaphors and the analogies that we can produce with that. So be always on the lookout for telling a story, for looking at what happens, what this is like. It's like it will link things really, really well. So if you say, oh, well, chiropractic is like rain clouds, and it's like, rain clouds, oh, what's the deal there? But they'll make sense. Oh, really? Yeah. So it's like, it brings freshness to the environment. It has life-giving forces within it. That sort of thing. I mean, it's abstract. It's really abstract, but they will make sense of it. They will say, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I understand that. I get that. So speak in this sort of this weird sort of extraneous language in many respects, but what it's doing is it's taking the person out into the future and they're making meaning of it themselves. Now, the organ that's really engaged in this is the heart. And so when we get the heart involved, it puts us on a mission, and it allows us to get involved in all the possibilities and the feelings associated with how we can be. What are we going to be in the future? So this is the big picture. This is the part of the brain that loves big picture. So give words that encourage that, colorful, future oriented, positive words that are may have no particular content to them, but they have significance and feel. So that's the name of the game when it comes to working with this part of the brain. And so what you'll find then, if you can do that the benefits are huge. I mean, people get excited. And when they resonate at this level. Now, if you happen to be at this level, you'll just have a ball. Like I resonate with Kylie with the decorations. Like, oh my God, that's incredible. But I'm sure there's other people there at that point in time who saw it the same as the CAs in the next shift saw it as, oh my gosh, you can't do this. It's not, But that's not what this is about. This is about allowing this particular part to play, and you can do this in the context of your work with people on a regular visit by visit basis. So it allows them to get excited. It gets their heart involved. It gets them on a mission. And so when people have a vision, and particularly this part, the quadrant one part has the vision, it resonates with it, and it will, in its flamboyant and expressive and sometimes erratic way, will follow that vision and be driven and enhanced by it. And the chiro students that we've sent off to school, the CAs and the practice members that have gone to chiropractic college through our practices, have been incited by this. It's like, hey, this is for me. This has got my name all over it. Now, it's a long way from graduation, but they get a feel for it and they go forward because of it. So if you'd like more specific skills and abilities with your communication and practice, and you want to reap the rewards that come from that, then and you want to looking ahead at 2021, then you'd like to drill down more on communication within your practice, you think it could be better, then enter communicate below and we'll have a chat. So I really look forward to speaking with you then. Cheers.